I can tell the difference between organic coffee and non-organic coffee.
Can you, or do you think you can?
No, I can.
Ooh, I want to test that. I'm gonna do
not at your house. I could give you roses. And you would turn it into like mulch. If you
why? What do you mean?
You're gonna do it in your Keurig.
Oh yeah. Hello, fellow weebs and otakus, an episode of Anime Fix, where your fix for all things anime. I'm Chase.
I'm Lance.
Hi, Lance.
Hello.
I'm tired. It's late.
It's late. It's been a long week.
It has been a long week, but depending on how soon I edit this, we're consistent. Okay, we're consistent.
I told you to upload the other episode we had.
You know what? I should have, but I forgot. Okay.
Now we can't because I just said I told you to upload. So now it's gonna be really weird. We put this one later.
I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, what do we watch? Because we gotta get into this.
Why do we have to get into this, Chase?
Because my wife takes priority over our podcast. Same as your wife.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, so we watched Ride Your Wave.
We did watch Ride Your Wave, and you texted me.
It was both a metaphor and like a metaphor for life and a literal, learning to ride the wave.
Yeah. They're surfers. And I texted you because we're supposed to watch it yesterday, right? And I texted you like, "Hey, I'm halfway done. Are you watching it?" No, I'm on my way back from the store. What? What?
I didn't realize what time it was.
I know. Because I knew as soon as it was going to be like 8:30, 9 o'clock, you're going to be like, it's past my bedtime, man.
Yeah. It's true.
But you did text me. Well, my point was, you did text me saying, bro, ... So I knew you liked it.
Yeah, it was very good. They didn't pull any punches. So I knew very quickly that our hero, can't remember his name because I never remember names. Minato. Our hero, I knew he was going to die very quickly.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Because their relationship, from our perspective as a viewer, escalated so quickly. They were just... I just want to call out, I love the little flirty moment where he saves him because he's a fireman. All right, so when they meet is our heroine building gets caught on fire from people setting off illegal fireworks. He's a fireman and he saves her. And she's all grateful. And I loved all that to say, I loved the little flirty moment when she's like, "I'm going to teach you to ride." And then she's like, I mean, the waves. I love the little subtle flirty moment there.
Yep.
But their relationship escalated super quickly from our view. I knew that he's going to die. I was like, oh my God, they're really going to do this. They're going to kill off the character so quickly. And then the rest of the movie is going to be about her dealing with that loss. And I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
When it happened. Yeah.
I kind of spoiled it for myself because back when this first came out, there's a bunch of ads for it and everything, a bunch of TikToks or YouTube shorts about it. And I already knew going into the movie that he was gonna die. So of course I would have found out super early into the show, but I think that also kind of wavered me a little bit because when I first watched it, obviously when I watched it yesterday, It wasn't really hitting for me. It wasn't very like enthralling. I didn't really like it. And then I think once I started like getting into it was when you found out why he calls her hero.
That was a
That's
really
when I started
nice
into it.
at the end there. That was a gut punch there. He said
I didn't
the whole
figure that out.
time she's talking about how, where would she be without him, how he's so perfect at everything he does, and
Yeah.
and all to find out that the whole reason why he works as hard as he does is because she saved him when he was a kid, and he wanted his life to mean something for that.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? And she, so
pretty crazy. And like it doesn't click until she starts talking to Yoko and then talking to I think it was his mom.
Sabi. Oh. I'll say though, I got really Yoko uncomfortable. I'm so glad. I'm just so glad that he actually was like a ghost in the water.
Yeah.
Because the whole time when she's like, I see him and I'm singing this song and I'm taking him with me, in my head I was like, oh God, she's hallucinating. This is denial in the extreme. And I was like, that's where this show is going. And I was like, this is gonna be rough, but no, it turned out not to be that bad.
I mean, I think for me, it probably would have hit harder if it was that.
It wasn't real, and she was just the whole time. She's carrying around her water bottle with her little goldfish.
I mean that's not as bad as carrying around the giant beluga or the finless dolphin, whatever you call it.
Yeah, because that's what he's in. Yeah, I thought that was really uncomfortable. If I had saw that in real life, I would have been like, what the hell's wrong with this chick?
Yeah, so, I mean, like, where's the birthday party at?
But I love and the fact that she the whole time she keeps singing it, and every moment she's uncomfortable, she keeps singing their song. And he comes back, and as the movie progresses, she starts to fight herself from saying it because she's like, I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to learn how to ride my wave solo. All in all, I thought it was really good. I loved the little bit at the end when she happens to be by that tower around Christmas and read the note he submitted a year ago.
That was hard
crying there. Yeah.
I teared up a little bit at that. Like it progressively got better for me because, like I said, the first half of it.
I would definitely say it wasn't. I enjoyed it the whole from start to finish, but it definitely was kind of like
It's a one and done for me.
Yeah, probably a one and done. But I can see why you feel that way because it wasn't gut wrenching the whole time, right? It's sort of at the end there was a moment, but
yeah, I'm surprised that you like it as much as you do because you hate Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop, and it's pretty much the same plot, except for the dying part.
So there's a difference. Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop had no goal.
No what? That's a big word for me, Lance. Yeah,
goal. There was no tribulation to overcome.
Yeah, there is.
What?
Social anxiety. And
but it wasn't like they're okay. There was no central theme that the characters started off with challenging.
She was a mask everywhere because of her teeth.
Whatever, not good enough.
What do you mean, whatever?
Okay, so here's the difference. They were dealing with everyday things, everyone deals with, right? This was someone who was thrown into a situation they were not prepared for.
Yeah.
And the movie is them working to overcome that.
Yeah.
The situation was losing someone that you thought or that you believed that you needed in your life to get by. Right? Like a dependency almost. I wouldn't say she was so far as codependent.
She's pretty far in there though. She's pretty codependent.
She was pretty dependent on him. She could not see herself. I think there's a difference between being dependent or like leaning on somebody and also being like codependent. I feel like codependency is its own sort of like world.
I think she said that, didn't she? So, that she's codependent on Minato at one point.
I don't remember that. I don't remember her saying that. I don't feel like it was codependency because she was still able to go to work. She was still able to function. She was just going through extreme loss.
Yeah.
Mourning.
Yeah,
the movie is her learning to overcome that and realize that she can pull from her own strength. She's a capable person. Yes, she's sad. Yes, it is unfortunate that you had to experience that loss. Yes, you'll probably remember him for the rest of your life, even if you move on and meet somebody else. He'll always be like a special part of you, right? And no one's saying that's not okay.
Yeah.
But she learned to depend on herself to get by and not need him anymore. I think that is a good life lesson, and it's also a good story. This is with Words Bubble like Soda Pop. I mean, yeah, they had their own little like quirk. I would even call it challenges. I call it quirks. So like social quirks that they had to deal with. It wasn't like some overarching thing that. It was more of like a side. It's like a character. It's kind of almost like just a description. It's a characteristic of the character, like a description of the character, not their main premise
or whatever.
Yeah, well, they're just their main. Like, okay, so our heroine probably has a lot of other attributes, right? But her main purpose in this story was to showcase the struggle she had to overcome, the loss, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Characters in Words Bubble like Soda Pop, yeah, they had their own little like issues, right? Or things like social anxiety or your teeth being whatever and all that stuff. But it wasn't their main purpose, right? It wasn't their main characteristic for the purpose of the story. It was just more of like I'm gonna write this character, but I gotta give them something a little bit unique to differentiate them. Oh, I'm gonna make him socially anxious, right? It's more like an afterthought written for the character versus like this character is socially anxious and the movie is about them overcoming that anxiety so that they can like set themselves. Like Silent Voice, for instance, he throughout that felt shame. His main story was, I feel shame for who I am. I don't feel like I deserve anyone's love. And by the end of the movie, he learns that he does deserve someone's love. Not only does he deserve others' love, but he deserves to love himself.
Yep.
He is not, did some bad things, but he's not a bad person. And that's the difference to me between Words Bubble like Soda Pop and like Ride Your Wave, Silent Voice, all that stuff.
That's fair.
All right, I went on a rant there.
You're good, no worries.
Yeah,
that was good because like with the like Soda Pop, like you find out at the end, like when they're trying to find like that record or whatever, it's actually the clock, and then like I think that was like the same kind of like aha moment as like finding out that he was like or she saved his life as a kid, and like the song I think is what like I really got me thinking about like Worth of like Soda Pop like that, because it's the same obviously like kind of thing like with the record and with the song. But I thought that
song was catchy. I was kind of like every time she was singing it.
You watch it English or Japanese?
Watched it in English.
I watch in English too. What do you think about the coffee scenes? Because we talked about that a little bit earlier just today. Do you
I
think
thought
that the coffee scenes justice?
I think so. I mean, the way that they went over the brewing process, I mean, that's pretty spot on.
What's important about the carbon dioxide? I don't know about that.
So that is something I don't know much about. The way they describe the process, I'm very familiar with. I've never heard someone say, "Oh yeah, it releases the carbon dioxide." Like I've never heard that, and I've heard people describe this as how you brew coffee, and here's why. So, I believe it's that when you let the water steep for a little bit, or like set for a little bit, like I was telling you earlier, you put a little bit of water in, you let it sit for a moment, let the bubbles, basically, that's the bubbles sort of like there, and it release the gases.
Yeah, let them bubble up like soda pop.
Yeah. It helps with the taste, right? So it helps with the flavor profile. If you just dump water in, it can taste a little bit. I'm not sure what the right word is. I want to say burnt, but maybe burnt is a better description. Won't taste as smooth.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe that's what I've read, and I mean, I've done both, and I can tell you right now, there is not very good at like describing like flavor, like when people, like the way, like just dumping the water in and actually taking my time, and like actually take my time pouring, measuring, all that stuff. I'm not enough of a connoisseur to be like, oh, this has. Yeah. Actually, I'm pretty good now where I don't need the scale as much. Okay. I'm pretty good at eyeballing it because I've done it enough. But like, I'm not as much of a connoisseur. I'm not enough of a connoisseur to be like, oh yeah, this has hints of rose and chocolate and all. Like, I can't do that. I don't have the palate for that.
So where are you on the spectrum then? Because like you're enough of a connoisseur to make fun of me for using a Keurig, but not enough to know hints of chocolate and like caramel.
Because your Keurig tastes like shit. Okay, when you've had
no.
Yes.
No. It doesn't taste that bad.
Yes, it does.
I have a little Keurig pod I can put my own coffee in, okay?
That doesn't mean shit, okay?
Yeah, it does.
No.
I could use my freshly ground coffee and put it in there, okay?
That doesn't mean shit. It's bad.
It's the same thing. It's poured in water through beans.
Keurig determines how the water gets poured, right? And also, you have no control over
consistent. It's the consistency, right?
Yeah.
It's the same every time.
That's the thing. Consistent. That's the thing about Starbucks, right? It's not that it's good, right? Which I wouldn't go so far as to say it's bad. But the biggest complaint that you'll get from like coffee people, and it's also foodies in general, it's the consistency. The idea of when you go get a meal, every time is something new, something different. It's like in a little experience. It's like you don't know what you're gonna get, right? Yeah. They like that variety in your life. I don't have a palate for that kind of stuff. They just don't.
Yeah.
I don't care enough about the experience of food, but I have learned that I do care about taste. And the experience of food is kind of
like you want more consistency than adventure. Is that what you're saying?
No. So I guess consistency. I don't know if I'd say consistency, but I brew the same coffee every day, same way, right? It tastes really good. I could make it like Starbucks, and it will not be as good, even if it's consistent.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that with foodies and coffee connoisseurs, they really like the experience of coffee. For me, it's not about the experience; it's about the taste.
Okay.
I can tell the difference between good tasting food and bad tasting food. I don't care if the good tasting food, the next time I come in, ooh, you added a little bit more spice this time, or ooh, you used
Okay.
beef instead of chicken, right? Or ooh, you instead of grilling it, you fried it, or I don't know. I'm just throwing terms out there, but
Yeah.
that doesn't. A foodie might go, ooh, this is exciting. This is a new combination of flavors, right? That get
Yeah.
that tickled my brain with.
Uh,
That isn't something I really care about. But
sure.
if the food is legitimately good each time, like there's this it's this Indian place real close by, and the food is really really good.
Yeah.
I don't go in going, ooh, I wonder if they're going to add more spice on this, or if they're going to give us a little extra, of that or whatever. I just know it's good. It's consistently good each time I go in there. Versus, I can go to McDonald's, right? And I
I was
can
going to
get
ask you, what do you think my favorite coffee is from the grocery store that I like to buy?
McDonald's coffee.
It really is. I love McDonald's coffee. It's so
I
good.
do so McDonald's coffee. It does get a lot of compliments, but my point is that yeah, the food is edible at McDonald's, but is the burger that you get there going to be as good as the burger that you get like 90% plus lean beef, and you've added like different spices, and you've maybe maybe you've cooked the cheese in it, right? So like it's you patted the beef around the cheese so that way when you bite into it, or whatever, however you decide to cook it. Is it going to be this? Is it going to be you might do it the exact same time each way. The one that you make like that versus the one you get at McDonald's is always going to be better, and that's what coffee. The way I brew coffee, the reason why I buy the coffee I do is um, is for the taste. I can tell the difference between organic coffee and non-organic coffee.
Can you, or do you think you can?
No, I can.
Ooh, I want to test that. I'm gonna do a
Not at your
live
house.
stream.
Yeah,
Stream.
I could give you I could give you roses. And you would turn it into like mulch. If you
Why? What do you mean?
you're gonna do it in your Keurig.
Oh yeah. Back to
Everything tastes like
Wave.
shit when it comes out of that.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It tastes fine.
It does.
I will say that I usually don't drink Keurig. Like when I make it in the Keurig, I don't drink it black. Usually, I usually put creamer in it.
Yeah, you make.
So
dessert.
You might have a point. You might have a point.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes I love dessert for breakfast. Okay. Back to Ride Your Wave. So I'm on a review site. It's medium.com. Anime thoughts on Ride Your Wave, just for context. But the first one is like Hinako's perspective of like she can't accept that Minato died, and be like Minato's appearing in bodies of water. Whereas like the contrast of that is Minato's sister Yuko, because you could see like she really doesn't cry until the end. Of like how she's braving the loss of her brother without like experiencing the sorrow, and then like she finally, she just simply accepts it and moves on. Whereas like Hinako is like she doesn't really move on; she just moves forward with the grief, because she's still crying like at the end of it.
Hmm.
What do you think for that?
I think people grieve in different ways,
Yep.
and I think they're all valid. There's nothing wrong just because you don't cry. First off, crying is okay, and I would never mean to imply that crying is not okay. But it's also okay not to cry.
Yeah.
Sometimes people deal with grief through jokes. They try to make themselves laugh or make people laugh, because because the struggle of watching someone suffer. I would say, I won't. Probably comes from I'm speculating comes from a place of empathy. You feel the pain of others, and so you're like, I want to make them feel better. I like how Wasabi flowers, and he's like, but I mean,
bro,
not quite.
in that moment. I hate it.
How dare you? You trying to hit on your dead friend's girlfriend?
When you have a perfectly great girl right there for you with Yoko.
Well, yeah, and they ended up together at the end.
They did, but like only because she said that she likes him. So like, I think, back in my mind, I'm thinking like, hey, I don't got a shot with Hinaka, so I'll go for you.
I think I don't think
he did that. I
think he was actually in love with her or even remotely interested in her. I think he worshipped. I use that loosely. He worshipped his friend so much. I think
like want to take care of her.
I think maybe it was that, or he thought maybe taking care of her, maybe him wanting to take care of her is more trying to prove that he is capable of being on. There's no way I can say this without it sounding bad to me, but I think he was trying. I think he was trying. He worshipped his friend so much, and his friend died, and he wanted to. He probably, in his own way, felt lost without him. Same way that she did, and I think wanting to be with her was more to showcase that he was strong enough. Because if he could take care of her, he can take care of himself. I think.
Okay, that's fair.
That's what I think. I mean, ultimately, he shouldn't have done it, but I think that was his. I think that was his motivation behind it. Yeah. I don't think it was like creepy or anything like that, or or
yeah.
Finally, he's dead. I get to
Jesus, yeah.
Some anime villain.
Like, they have a great point too. Like, they say, I don't think grief ever goes away. You just have to ride through it.
I mean, that was kind of the
the premise, yeah.
Premise of the whole story. Like,
but yeah,
I think that's true. I think there are, even in my own life, and I don't know about you per se, but there are things that I remember from when I was a kid. That I was like, of varying degrees. Some sit with me more than others, but there are things I remember, and I'm like, oh man, that sucked. That was not a fun experience, or, I can't believe I did that, or how could I be so stupid? Those kinds of things I don't think ever leave you. I think you just learn to accept it, and you learn to move forward despite feeling that way. And I feel like the letting yourself, I think the quickest way to get over something traumatic is you have to let yourself experience the loss, feel the loss. Because if you go through a tragedy and take a month, take 2 months. It's going to be so much easier on you if you take time to yourself to like get over it and to feel the loss and just lay in your bed and cry and just stare off into the horizon with a blank stare. Because eventually you will get to a point where you're like, oh, okay, today's not as bad as yesterday was. I think I can go outside now, and then a week goes by or a month goes by, and you're like, oh, okay, man, I felt like crap a month ago, but I'm able to go to work again, or something like that. Eventually, you get to a point where you get through the routine of your day, and you don't forget. You're able to move on.
Yep, I agree.
I thought it was a really good story. Yeah, I don't think it's a repeat for me, but
no, me either.
I really like the message.
Yeah, the message was good. What was the other anime that you wanted to watch? Is there anything else you want to talk about for Rider Wave? It's a very short story. It's only an hour and a half, so.
The next one we're gonna watch is even shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we picked it out together.
I forget what it's called. You've told me like countless times, but I forget.
That's okay. You're an idiot.
Oh yeah, but I'm your idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
I do want to watch Makia again because like I gotta find out why everybody's putting it top 10 or like giving it 10 out of 10s.
So, the other one we were going to watch is Stranger by the Shore.
Okay. Stranger by the Shore.
Yeah. I also kind of want to watch Human Lost.
What is it? Human Lost?
Mm-hmm.
Look it up. Oh, it looks like cyberpunk kind of themed.
Hell yeah, it is.
Of course it is. All right, let's read the plot real quick. It's like 4 or 5 lines. In the year 2036, breakthroughs in medical technology have led to a system of nanomachines internally implanted in all humans that can reverse illness, injury, and even death. But if a person severs their nanomachines from the system, they mutate into monstrous creatures known as Lost. Yozo, Mazo, and Yoshiko are now applicants with special powers over the Lost. That sounds pretty cool. Sound like the first like 3-4 lines like screamed psychopath to me though.
I know. It looks pretty dope.
Really cool. Premiered in 2019.
Yeah. What were we saying though? So we got Stranger by the Shore. You want to watch Makia again? You want to do? Oh, gosh. Yeah.
I feel like Stranger by the Shore could be like a 30-minute episode.
I'm sure we could fill the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like a mini episode.
About we still got to do Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. Have you watched all Chainsaw Man yet?
No, I haven't yet.
Well, you got to watch it because like we got to wait for you to be done. There's like 24 episodes, isn't there? Or did it stop at 12? I think there's 24 episodes.
Let me just save it here real quick. That looks so good, dude.
What, Chainsaw Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super good. What do you mean?
I'm saying it looks good, just but
there's only 12. You're good.
Oh yeah. How about we do? Okay, so you need to upload. All right, you're gonna upload this episode tonight. I want you to upload. I want you the upload.
We won't say a date. We'll say tonight.
I want you to upload the episode that we recorded weeks ago that you held on to next week.
It was like months ago.
Yeah.
Next week? Okay.
Yeah. And then the week after that, we'll do. Well, this
a lot of demands, Lance. You know that?
I know. Well, I gotta keep you. It's
supposed to be a partnership.
Nah.
How's the merch store looking, Lance?
I knew you were gonna bring that up. I knew. Merch store.
I want my hoodie, Lance. I want my hoodie. Everybody else wants their hoodie too.
I think I said last time we talked about it, it's like, oh yeah, I only have a couple things to do and the merch store will be up, and then I never finished.
Have you even started the merch store?
I think I set up an account.
That's great. I love it. I want my hoodie, okay? That's all I want.
I'll get the merch store up. I've been busy. Of course I'm always busy. But I'll make
busy.
I know. I'm just gonna have to sit down and do it one day. But no, dude, if we do that episode next week, then that gives us me a couple weeks to watch Chainsaw Man.
Fair.
Then we can You can knock through
I
several
have tons
episodes.
of time this week. I have tons of time this week, so you should watch Stranger by the Shore so we can knock out that one.
You want to record that this week?
I mean, we always say that, but it never happens. But yes, I have time.
If you have time this week, then sure, we'll do it.
Like during the day, though. I don't know if you
During
have time
the
during
day?
the day.
Well,
Yeah. Just take a long lunch break.
Listen, I would I have time during the day? Probably. But the last thing I need is to be in the middle of recording and my phone goes off because there's something I have to take care of. Like,
you know what? I can edit it. Okay. Power of editing.
Why can't we just do it in the evening?
Well, that's fine. It'll be fine.
We'll figure it out.
That's
We'll
all
do
fine.
Stranger by the Shore this week.
All right. Sounds
Right.
good.
I think it's time for us to get off now before your.
I know.
Your wife kills you.
She plans on it. Probably. She's probably plotting my demise.
Nothing I think of. I'll say. All right. So, really liked it. I'd give it.
Plotting how to ride my wave.
I'd give Ride Your Wave. I'm gonna say 3.5, only because I don't think out of 5.
Oh, okay.
Only I want to give it
5 out of. Who uses a 5 out of 5 scale? Use a 10 out of 10 scale.
a lot of movie reviews use a 4 or 5 star scale.
Fair. All right.
I'd give it 3.5. I want to give it a 4, but it wasn't good enough for me to go, man, I'm going to buy it so I can watch it later, right?
Yeah. I give it
for that reason, I give it 3.5.
3. Yeah, I give it a 3. I wouldn't buy it, but I would I'd watch it on a streaming service.
Definitely think it's definitely worth at least one watch, especially if you've ever, which I mean everybody has, but like if you've ever dealt with like tremendous loss.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good story to like showcase, overcoming your self-doubt and learning to trust yourself and believe in yourself. I think it's a good, experience. So,
yeah. All right. So next time we're gonna watch and review Stranger by the Shore, right?
It's hit my head. You didn't say anything. You did a damn thing, you asshole. Stranger by the Shore, yes. So we're watching next.
How am I supposed to let you know by your 4-second delay video? Like, hey, watch out! Don't hit your head on that wall.
You mean my video is 4-second delayed?
Oh, it's pretty delayed. That's just because of my internet connection. That royal internet connection. Not living in the.
Oh yeah, because you live out in the
boonies.
The boonies, yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, we'll catch everyone next time when we watch and record Stranger by the Shore.
Bye.